Hello, my name is Anne and this is Toby, and welcome to part 2 of yesterday's impromptu video. So yesterday, Friday, I decided I wanted to work on 3 projects during the day. A quilt. This was my Cotton Cuts Piazza quilt, which I needed to quilt, and I'm making for my grandson Leo. It was Friday, so that meant Secret Grove, my cross stitch that I stitch in the afternoons. And then in the evening, I was going to work on my gnome. So how did I do? Actually, it turned out to be a very good day, all things considered, because we had to babysit last night. First off, I worked for a couple of hours on the quilt. Now, here is the quilt. I know it's not finished, not completely, but what I did, it's hard for me to hold this up. See, I can't even see what I did. Oh yeah. What I did was I turned it sideways, and I was going to go all the way down the center of each of these columns and stitch all like that with a big stitch, like a 4 or 5 stitch length. And that this gorgeous color, rose color thread. I think it's rose, I'm not sure. So you always start in the middle when you're working on a quilt, and you roll up one side, and then you push it through and quilt, and the roll up part goes through the arm of the quilt. So I did this line first. So I went all the way down. By the time I'd gone all the way down and faffed about with it, I decided I was not going to do every single block. No, I decided to make big blocks. So on the back, it looked like a big block. So I did this one. Then I missed a couple. I did this one. Missed a couple, and I did this one. So this is what the back looks like. And they're not always straight, but I don't really care. So then I decided I was going to come and turn it long ways and go all the way down. But then I thought, no, I'm not doing that either. By this time, I was actually fed up of machine embroidering, of quilting. I was just fed up with it. I thought it's too hard to get it through the machine. I'm not doing it. So then I thought, what if I hand quilted some of the squares, like all around this square or this square? What if I hand quilted in the center of these squares? So I thought, let's try it. So, of course, I checked a video on how to hand quilt because I've really only done it once before and I couldn't remember what I did. And so what I decided was to do each 4 corner squares. So there's one. I don't even know if you can see the stitching there because you might be able to see it better on that side. So I did each of the 4 corners. And then I trimmed it all off. So it's now completely trimmed off. And my plan is to continue to quilt by hand the blocks that are all in the middle here. So all those blocks in the middle will all get hand quilted. And I don't think that will take very long. In fact, hand quilting yesterday didn't take long at all. I think it took me longer to machine quilt than it did hand quilt. Thank you very much. By the time you finished messing about, getting it all right and stopping and starting and underneath and making sure it wasn't all twisting. Anyway. So I'm really pleased with how it's come out. It's so thick and squishy and lovely. He's going to love it. And I'm going to love it because when we go up on the train, we're going to use it as our blanket. And this is going to be the border. So I will be cutting this out next, finishing off the quilting and preparing the binding. Sorry, the binding, not the border, the binding. So that's my next part for this quilt, which I'll do sometime next week. I've got loads of time. So that was what I got all my quilting done in the morning. Then I went and had some lunch, another cup of tea, and got on with my cross stitch. Now, this is my Friday stitch, and it is Secret Grove, and I love it. I love working on this. So here's a picture of it before I started stitching. And here it is what I got done yesterday. I got all this bumpy bit here and down there, and the welcome sign started. I just have to finish the rest of the words and then come around the outside with that dark color before I can move on to the next page, which brings the tree trunk down with some mushrooms. So I'm really pleased with how that has turned out. And I put about 2.5 hours into this yesterday. So yeah, I was quite pleased with that. Then we went to babysit. So I was going to work on this, and I did for sure. I managed to do the nose, and remember, I wasn't sure how this was going to work. It's an I-cord nose, and I was not sure if I could do it, and I did it. It actually turned out easier than I thought. So this will be his nose. So I haven't sewn that on. And while I was making the nose, Ev was sitting beside me on the couch after we'd had supper and we were watching TV, and she was sitting beside me holding the yarn for me. And anytime I needed some more yarn, she'd say, Nana, do you want more yarn? And I'd say, yes, please, Ev. And she'd pull some more out. Well, that worked rather well for a little bit till we got in a big knot. So that was the end of her holding the yarn for me. So after they'd gone to bed, and we'd had 100 stories in the teepee in her bedroom, which was very charming little place to sit till you have to get up. And then after they'd gone to sleep, I carried on and I made the top half of the scarf. Now the scarf, so it's going to go on him like this, which covers up the neck area with all the decreases and increases. So let's put it like that. So it will go on like this, and then there is a piece that I still have to knit that looks like the scarf part, as if you've wrapped it round your neck. So I have to do that part in this color still, and 2 stick arms in this. There is embroidery on here on the belly, but I don't think I want to do that because he's a snowman. I don't know very many snowmans with embroidered snowflakes on their tummies. No. So anyway, I might embroider a couple of buttons instead, or sew on some buttons. Maybe you can find some little buttons and sew them on. That might be good. So yeah, so I'm very happy with everything I got done yesterday. It was great. And today I was at a knitting retreat all day with some friends, actually lots of friends. It was really fun, and I'll tell you more about that when I talk to you on my next Toby Knits podcast. But for now I'm going to go. I think we're going to watch a movie tonight and order some pizza. Yeah, I feel like that's a good idea. So tomorrow I'm doing a live at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So please join me while we chit chat away for an hour or so. Bring your knitting, bring your stitching, bring your crochet, bring whatever you want to work on. I might bring my crochet. I might continue working on my crochet blanket. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. So anyway, hopefully I'll see you all then. Okay, bye.